You are live on Winning Rolls with Ryan, and happy Good Friday. So it's Good Friday today, and it is Easter, of course, on Sunday. So I always love a chance to wear my pink shirt because it's like one of my most comfortable shirts, but I got to have a reason. So Easter is my reason. And so, of course, our Lord gave his life on Good Friday. And so I was raised Catholic, or I think most of you guys know that I went to Catholic. I went to Immaculate Conception grade school from first through eighth grade. And in my eighth grade, I started in the Christmas play. And I had a good experience there. The nuns are a little, crazy, but, it was overall a good experience. And I went to a Catholic high school. And so Easter is always a big event. And now we have a little 2.5-year-old or 2+ year old granddaughter to celebrate Easter with, which is always fun. So have a wonderful Easter. Hopefully you can get together with family and celebrate a wonderful Easter with family and have a wonderful time. And so now that, but plus, guess what? We have that event that we do every 2 months is actually on Monday, starts on Monday. So this is an opportunity, of course, for us to talk about FSBO calling. So every deal you ever do has three parts. Both on the selling and the buying end, mostly. You got an opening call where it's your first contact with a seller or a buyer, where you're trying to figure out whether or not this could be a deal. It's sort of a pre-screening call for both of you. And then the closing call is when you figure it out, yes, there is a reason to move forward after the opening call. And now on the closing call, we negotiate the terms, purchase price. This is what we do on Monday night. So it's Friday today. On Monday night, we will be calling, if you send us some FSBO sellers, we'll be calling your sellers. You keep all the profits, but it's an opportunity for you to have the best in the business call your leads and try to get you a deal. So if you have any FSBO scripts, or even if you've talked to, sometimes I'll talk to an agent or a landlord. Remember, we have several different opening call scripts. FSBO is one. There's also landlord opening call, listing realtor opening call, and there's even property manager opening call, because sometimes when you're calling on landlords, a property manager will pick up. And that's good too, because a property manager could lead to all kinds of leads if you charm them and build a little rapport with that person. All right, so there's lots of different, and then there's of course just an off-market opening call. Like if you're driving for dollars and you see a distressed property or whatever, or then you would call using that. But FSBO is what I want you to focus on this weekend. If you were going to call anyway, which you should be, every Saturday, guys, Saturday, you should have a habit on Saturday of 2 to 3 hours of calling. Saturday is the best day. You could almost run your business just off of that 2 hours a week of like hopefully don't intrude on your family time or whatever, but figure out, okay, the kids play, t-ball in the afternoon or whatever. I can do from 10 to noon, I can do calls. So I want you to focus on, good morning, Lucky. Good to see you. And so I want you to focus on FSBO calling. You should have the FSBO opening call script, and that's in the what to say and what to do forms folder. So you can pull it out of there and print it off. If you don't have it for whatever reason, you could leave me a message here and I will give me your email and I'll send you it. Okay. And even if you never bought the what to say and what to do system, which you absolutely need to be successful in real estate, no matter what kind of deal you're negotiating, it has all the scripts. There's 7 kinds of real estate deals, not 1 or 2 or 3 like most people think. I want you to have all the scripts for all the different kinds of deals so you can close any kind of deal. You should have for sure the subject to closing call, the sandwich lease purchase closing call, and the most important script in the entire business, the seller financing closing call. That's a 2.5-page script that will get you deals. I don't know how else to put it. If you talk to enough sellers and read that script, you will get deals. So again, the seller financing closing call, it's about 2.5 pages long. That's the script. That's the premier script that gets you deals. However, you got to get them, you got to first pre-screen them and talk to them and see if they're even in the game. That's what the FSBO opening call script is for. So this weekend, you could look up a whole bunch of Zillow FSBOs, and they don't have to be in your area. Lynette and I own properties in 5 different states. it's very doable to have a rental portfolio in another state. Okay. In fact, if you live in a state where the houses have gotten like they have in Arizona, I used to buy all my houses in Arizona back when I could buy them for 150 to 200, but that didn't last long. And now they're all 400, all those houses. So I need to go back to find a market where those things are 100 to 150. One of my favorite price ranges, to be honest with you, is 50 to 100. There are so many good cash flowing properties in that 50 to 100 that collect, you know, 12, 13, 14, $1,500 a month rent. That's almost a guaranteed $500 or more per month positive cash flow. And that's what we're always looking for, right? Yes. So call this weekend, print off 20 FSBO calls, FSBO opening call scripts, call them, and then send them to, you can text, definitely you got to text me that you sent them. But what I want you to do, the easiest way for me to get them usually is get them at this email, wolfcouple@gmail.com. I'm going to put it in here. But remember, when you send something, when you send leads to this, you got to let me know. Okay. You got to text me as well. So I'm going to give you my text as well here. Did that go? Okay. So I'm going to give you, so text me as well. And I'm going to give you my text number. And so that way, if you send me leads this weekend, you can text me and say, hey, Brian, I sent you some leads. Otherwise, sometimes stuff goes into spam. And if you call me on Tuesday and say, hey, I sent you a bunch of leads, Monday night's over. So we missed it. So you gotta make sure you send me the leads. You can send them to me, email them to me anytime over the weekend or all the way till Monday. I will be checking my emails on Monday, up until noon or so, to see if you guys send me any leads. So absolutely, if you send us leads, we will absolutely call them and we will give you a report on what happens. But I would love to close the deal for you. And this is the time of the year. I mean, this is one of the events I really like because the market is opening up again for summer. Basically, summer is the hottest time. It's when most people move because the kids are out of school and most of the activity happens in the summer. So we're leading into that right now. We're in April. So this is right when the market starts to gear up. So it's a perfect time to get your lead machine going and get your first deal or get a deal this month. It's early April. You know what I always say, fresh start of the month, fresh start. Okay, so it's a fresh start Friday. Now, I won't be here Monday because I'm going to be training for this other event. I'm going to be teaching on stage. So you won't see me on Monday, but you'll see me here a week from today back here on Friday. So I want you guys to have a wonderful Easter, but also send me leads. So Lucky's wishing us a happy Good Friday. And Lucky will send me emails, guys, and ask, questions reasonably, not, writing me a book, but he'll, write me a decent question and not too complicated. And I don't mind addressing that once in a while. So if you guys, thanks for all your great help. Yes, I was helping him with a lease option deal. He wasn't sure what to price it at. And that's an important thing. You got to price it right. If I gave you a rule of thumb, guys, I would say price it 20,000 over the Zestimate. If I knew nothing about anything about the house or about anything else, and you just said, what should I price this? And if I had to say with no information, I'd say 20,000 above the Zestimate, because normally people will know the Zestimate. Your buyers will look at that Zestimate and they'll see it. And if you're 50,000 over the Zestimate, and of course this is price range sensitive. If it's a $150,000 house and you're asking 200, you're 50 over. That's pretty significant. If it's a 350 house and you're asking 399, maybe you can get away with that. Still, that's way over. 20 is about as much as I want to be over this estimate. But if it's if it's a $80,000 house, I think I'll push it to 99.9. Depending on the market. But probably under 100,000, I'm probably pushing it between 10 and 20,000 for my pricing. 20,000 seems a little bit big. Maybe 10% over the market. So that would be another rule of thumb. So how should you price your houses? Maybe 10% over what you think it's worth. So a $200,000 house would be $219,900, something like that. That would be, that wouldn't be a bad rule of thumb to go by. But I do like that 20,000 number if I can get it. I do like to have a 20,000 spread. Seller sent me over his 35 pages November appraisal. Oh, that's good. Oh, okay, so this is interesting. Yeah. So this was a question about how should this house be priced? And because of the way it got, the way it hit the market and he dropped the price and didn't sell right away, the Zestimate got impacted. So the Zestimate is kind of low on this house, but the guy has an actual appraisal. That's really good. So you can always, and I would put that, guys, if you have an appraisal that make the house look good, I'd even put that in the, in the Zillow description. But, again, now you're saying, should I price it at $459.9? Now, there's something to be said for $50,000 breaking points. So, if it's right around 450, I'd probably try to keep it at 449.9. Number one, it sounds like it's a lot less expensive. 459 sounds like it's almost 500. 449 sounds okay. That's closer to 400 somehow, around 450. So I would maybe price it at 449.9. However, it depends on what you paid for it. Here, just always remember this, guys, whatever you price it at, you're not going to sell it at. Pricing is sort of a marketing technique. You want to price it aggressively, but not scare people away. But if you sell it for that price, you made a big mistake because you're only giving them a 12-month option. And you want to put somebody in there whose credit is really messed up. That's going to take them at least 2 to 5 to 10 years to get qualified. So that's why the price is sort of hypothetical almost. Because they're not going to pay that, and you're not going to take that in the long run. You're going to price it whatever the fair market value is whenever they buy, which will be sometime in the future. So that's a close one, and because of that Zestimate still hanging over you on that one, Lucky, I probably would do 449. Just my thinking on that one. Seller financing closing call. Yes, guys, the most important 2.5 pages script in the business. If you want to be successful at real estate, get good at that script. This Tuesday, seller called me for my bandit sign, and yesterday I got a contract. Awesome. You are taking great action. Lucky is doing so awesome. It's a sweetheart wrap. So great. I had a dream. Leads turning in. Yes, I'm in that range. Foreclosures you got at the courthouse. Awesome. So guys, again, send me any leads you got. What do I need? I need an address. I don't even need the address, but I really want the address so I can look it up on Zillow. It gives me, I know something about it then. So I want the seller's name. Of course, I would love a completely filled out FSBO, beautiful FSBO opening call sheet. But if you send me the name, phone number, and the address, and a couple of notes, I could probably make something happen with that. But it is really nice if I can get that script. Okay, but that's awesome if you guys have leads. Again, so that's where you're sending it to. Did I get that right? wolfcouple@gmail.com. And then when you do that, go ahead and text me and let me know for sure that you sent it. Okay, going door knocking. Okay, that's exciting. That's interesting. Now, guys, door knocking. Some of our students who've done door knocking will literally go from door to door. I've seen people do that. I've seen real estate agents do that who are really aggressive. However, I would like you to, when you're door knocking, mainly what I want you to focus on is hot leads that you find on some kind of a computer system, and targeted door knocking. So you pull, 6 houses that are going to the auction on Friday. That would be worthy door knocking, but you better have some cash to save those houses. Or, door knocking properties that you've run through some kind of a program like RealFlow or something that scored them, some reason to believe that that's a good deal. I don't want you just door knocking a neighborhood because that's a waste of your time and it'll burn you out. But if you're door knocking on sort of pre-screened leads and you're kind of going, okay, now I got to go to this one. Now I got to go to this one. Now I got to drive over here. Now I got to drive over here. And you're just hitting a bunch of cherry picking. That's the kind of door knocking I want you to do. Cherry picking door knocking. Okay. 2024 built, 28-year term, 335 loan balance. Wow. Okay. That's another great deal. So that's a person who only bought the house 2 years ago and now they want to sell it. Stuff happens. People get divorces. People get, people die, all kind of things happen. So this is a really nice property that was only built 2 years ago, essentially brand new, and you're going to be taking over a mortgage with a payment of $2,400. Now the whole key here is $2,400 PITI. How much can we get for that place? Now, if the rentals estimates is $2,500, we're going to push it. We could probably push the rentals estimate a few hundred, because remember, we're offering this house for sale as a lease purchase. So we usually do push the rent a little bit, but that sounds like a great one. Lucky you're out there taking action. You're finding and talking to sellers. That is awesome. You have 3 under contract. Wow, that's awesome, Lacey. That's great. Before going, I listened to your audio and read some Flip Side of Flipping. Oh, you guys know that's our book on Amazon. Gets you pumped. I'm a great real estate investor. Yes. And you got the agreement. Guys, you know how I love affirmations. I'm huge on affirmations. So yes. Lucky. Yeah, you guys should be talk to each other. Yeah, that would be good. Thank you. Thank you guys. Thank you. And I'm glad you guys are engaged here. And oh, you don't see Lucky's comment? Okay, comment. Do you see Lacey? Lucky is on YouTube, so we don't always see his comments. So Lucky, can you go to find us on Facebook too? Or Lacey, you could probably find Lucky on YouTube. So check it out. Lucky, see if you can find Lacey on Facebook and reach out. Okay. Well, you're not making any money, but if you're buying price, okay, that's true. So if you're buying the house for $450, then pretty much, yes, you have to price it at $459.9. Okay. Now, could you price it at $469.9 to give yourself a $20,000 spread over what you paid? You could, but remember, again, this number is hypothetical. Now, in there could be some twist of fate where they win the lottery and they say, okay, guess what? Or, somebody in their parent dies or something, gives a bunch of money. So something could happen where they actually could execute this in the first year. So if you bought it for $450, I don't want you to sell it for $449. Sell it for at least $459. And that way, worst case scenario, if if a miracle happened and they bought it in the first year, you'd still walk away with a few thousand. But generally, guys, like I already gave you all my best pricing advice. Hey, Charles, good morning. Charles, if you just got here, there's a lot of good tips today, so go back. Door knocking has brought out biggest deals. Wow, that's interesting. So you guys been door knocking? Name, auction date, year built, estimated value, all that stuff. That's good. You're getting a list of some good properties. Yeah, Lucky's on YouTube. Okay, you will. Good. Thank you. He's not so lucky. Okay. Hello, everyone. Hey, Jennifer. Okay, so guys, we have a lot of great tips today. And don't forget, send me leads. Call some FSBOs over the weekend. Find them on Zillow, Craigslist. You can do some research. Just type in for sale by owner and then type in the city that you're in or the city that you're targeting. Remember, you can do any city. We had one guy send in 60 leads once and he ended up buying a house in Jackson, Mississippi, and he didn't live there. So again, we own properties in 5 different states. So if you run out of FSBOs or if there doesn't look like very many good FSBOs where you live, like for some reason, Portland, I can never find good FSBOs in Portland. So if you live in Portland, you're probably going to need to research and find another city where there's a bunch of them and send me some of those. Okay. So I will be looking forward to you guys sending some leads, and just text me when you send them so I can get in that to the email and pull it out of spam. It went into spam, and I can for sure call your leads on Monday. So that's the goal. Every deal you do is an opening call, closing call, and a deal meeting. So if we are able to do the closing call on Monday, get them on the phone and set up a deal meeting, we'll let you know right away when your deal appointment is to go out there and buy that house. Normally we set it up for Thursday or Friday. So we're going to talk to them on Monday night, and we may call you on Tuesday or send you an email or text and say, hey, you got an appointment to go see or buy this house on Thursday or Friday. Okay. So that would be really exciting, right? To be buying a house. And this is a way to kick off your spring and summer, get a great start. Hey, Sedlik. And you have a under contract in Pennsylvania for $44K and 85 value. Wow, That's really good. Wow, Lacey, that looks like a great one. There's some really good properties, guys, in those price ranges from 50 to 100. And some of you guys who live in cities that are everything is way more expensive than that, it might seem like, wow, really? You can buy a nice house for 60 or 70,000? Yep, and it will rent out a lot of times for 12 or 1300, and boom, you've got a really good cash flow on that property. And so that's, remember, the end goal of this is what? 20 houses. If you have 20 rentals that average $500 a month positive cash flow, you've got 10,000 coming in passive income. That's kind of a formula for financial freedom, don't you think? So let's be smart, send us some leads. And of course, happy Easter and happy Good Friday to everybody. So I'm going to, let's see. I'm gonna call some FSBOs. I'm calling FSBOs. Yes, I'm calling. Everybody should call FSBOs, or unless you have a FSBO caller who's good. But even if not, it's good to call FSBOs. So I love calling FSBOs 3 times on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I love calling FSBOs. I love calling FSBOs. I love calling FSBOs. Yes. And if you do, and guys, that's how you program yourself. How do you get yourself to think the right way? You just say a bunch of affirmations of the way you want to think. And even if you didn't think that way before, you'll win yourself over, and you'll even win over your subconscious mind. So let's say, you've always never been really comfortable on the phone. Heck, just start saying, I love talking on the phone. I'm confident on the phone. I can't wait to get on the phone. I'm eager to get on the phone. Write yourself a bunch of affirmations like that. Just start saying it every day. And in a week, I'll tell you, in 3 days, in 1 day, if you say it a whole bunch of times, you'll say, wait a minute, what was I so scared about? I'm pretty confident on the phone. Wait a minute, I'm real confident. So affirmations really work. And I love affirmations. So now let's do our deep breathing. 3 deep breaths. Hold it in a little bit, and this is really good for your physical health. Deep breath in, it flushes out toxins in your system. So it is good when you do this 3 times a day. Anytime you need a little pick-me-up, nice deep breath in. Plus, you don't have to just do 3. You can get a lot of benefits from just 3, but you could do 2 minutes of deep breathing and really get a lot out of it. All right. So let's have a wonderful Easter weekend. Let's enjoy our families and have a great time and celebrate and honor our spirituality. And then, and also do a little business, make a few FSBO calls and shoot them over to us so we can call and close you a deal on Monday. All right. Tell your sellers, by the way, if you talk to them over this weekend, tell them your partner from Arizona with a 480 area code is going to be calling them on Monday night between about 7 and 8 o'clock roughly Eastern time. Yeah, something in there. Okay, so somewhere like 7 to 9 Eastern time. Okay, so tell them that, and that should be then they'll be ready for the call. And the whole trouble of this is getting people to pick up because they don't recognize our number, and we're out of area because it's Arizona and we're calling people all around the country. And so we might call 20 sellers and only have 3 pick up. That's why we need so many leads. But we always text them right after, and you should too. Hey, I just tried to call you. I want to buy your house. Could you please call me back? So some will call back, but just if you warn them in advance and say my partner from Arizona, and if you want some credibility, guys, tell them they've been in the business over 20 years. We're both realtors, and now they're full-time investors, and they've done over 800 deals. If you want to tell them that, for extra credibility, if you feel like you need it, but you can just tell them your partner from Arizona. All right, so awesome. Thank you guys for all being here. Thank you for contributing so much today. A lot of people chiming in. And thank you. Happy Easter. Happy Easter, everybody. Okay, questions about commercial, ask me on Monday. Happy Easter to everybody. All right, guys. So have a wonderful Easter, and I will see you on not Monday because I'm going to be at this event, but on Friday, and I'll give you an update on everybody who sent leads. And so I will see you next Friday. Until then, keep expecting success, having a happy Easter, getting the best training from the Wolf Couple, and taking action. Absolutely. All right. We will see you on Friday. Have a wonderful